This is your March 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy here. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. Look forward to having this cosmic conversation with you. We're going to open up the month with the energy of the Chariot. And you are going to be wondering whether it's worth it. And almost like there's a feeling of, well, I can't turn back now anyway. But you know what, Libra? If it's important to you, you'll take care of it. If it's a priority, you'll make the time for it. And if it's enriching your life, which it is going to, then you will want to keep going and persevere in the direction of it. And as we open up the month, 1st and 2nd, we have Venus conjunct Jupiter in Aries, your 7th house. So you are going to be given this beautiful cosmic boost to really initiate and consider how you want to drive something forward. Now, the Chariot tells us that against the odds, you can make this happen. And yet, you know, the journey itself may be a little bit more turbulent and may require a little bit more from you than you had anticipated. And that's what it means to live, right? These experiences are the very things that shape and carve out the person that we become. And so what you do, how you do it, and why it matters is just woven so deeply into your soul story this month. And as we're into Pisces season, your 6th house is illuminated, which is really focusing around the way that you are meant to show up to be of service. And it's honestly in the hundreds of decisions, seemingly insignificant decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis that are really pre-paving what's coming next for you. And you're going to be putting some time and attention around what it is that is going to be able to sustain your well-being through the course of not only March, but really moving forward. And, you know, sometimes that means that the more mundane aspects of things need to be taken care of, but you will be so thankful that you put that foundation in place for yourself, and that even as you orientate yourself towards things that feel a little bit more exhilarating or adventurous to you, that you don't forget about the things that are going to be able to support you to maintain that sense of vibrant health and well-being. So the eating clean, the breathing properly, the kind of taking the time to look at how you manage your energy, protect your energy, you know, all of these things are amplified and highlighted even more as we approach the full moon in Virgo coming in on the 7th of the month. And what I've been really saying about March is it's an opportunity for us to be all in, but the all in is really redefined so that we're not sacrificing our nervous systems that, you know, frankly are already still in a process of recovery. So this is about making the medicine of the moment. And your Knight of Pentacles here says, look, you are going to get there. Where you want to be, what you're trying to envisage for yourself. Like, this is coming to you. It's being birthed from you for a reason. And, you know, you have something to say, so don't silence yourself in that. However, what it's going to take to get there does definitely demand a sense of loyalty and devotion and commitment that at times may feel over and above what you have to give. Now, that full moon in Virgo coming in on the 7th also will see Saturn shifting into Pisces on the 7th of the month. And for you, that means that the next 2.5 years are really going to be looking deeper into these themes around the 6th house and what that means to you. And you're going to learn a great deal from that. So pay attention to what comes up through this month of March. It's not like it's the same thing that you'll be dealing with for the next 3 years, but there's certainly going to be strands of that are going to be woven really deeply into your narrative and what you're meant to be experiencing. Now, around that full moon, I think there's something really important that you commit and make a decision for. And it's almost like something that comes to light, and perhaps it could even be slightly health related or certainly energy related for you. And I have a sense that it's going to be about trying to ensure that you don't move through these extremes in the way that perhaps you have been in the last few weeks and months. So how do I find an approach to having to deal with the responsibility, the seriousness of what's going on in my life, but at the same time make sure that I'm not, moving through, oscillating through these types of environments, situations, connections, and it's consistently kind of knocking me out of my balance. So I also think that somebody has something to share with you around that full moon in Virgo. So pay attention to what advice or wisdom gets imparted to you. It might just feel like something that kind of gets passed almost flippantly, you know, someone's not really necessarily thinking about it as they share with you, or you overhear something and yet it feels like gold to you, like it almost sort of completely makes sense, and you're like, of course, like that's absolutely something that I need to understand, or I need to bring into my life, or I need to kind of really take on board, shall we say. Now, this is a month where we have a contrast between a sense of vulnerability, but also this beautiful, rising, sacred self-empowerment. And the Three of Wands says, again, you're kind of stepping up or being invited to step up in some area of your life. It requires a confidence and a level of self-belief, which I think you have been quietly working on in the background, but perhaps an opportunity now with all the drive and momentum and activation of March to kind of really walk your talk a little bit. I think there'll still be a little bit of hesitancy from you, and maybe even some self-doubt that you're going to have to continue to work on. And mid-month, what we're going to see is an exchange between Jupiter and Chiron, again in 7th house. And the thing with the 7th house, I mean, all this Aries energy for you, you perhaps are one of the signs that is affected most and has most to learn from this, because what it does is it's initiating the mirror season, which means that a lot of the shadow self gets brought up in 7th house energy. So it's about our relationships, and so often what we really learn most about ourselves and about life emerges through the connections that we have with the people around us. That's where we get to test the theories to see if we have really integrated things. And yes, you may feel slightly more triggered this month by certain individuals, but at the same time you're also going to feel even more empowered, because there's deep realizations about what you now need to do to deploy this consistent state of balance around you. But the vulnerability that shows up, again, it's not something that's meant to feel like an Achilles heel. You know, through that vulnerability and sensitivity, it helps you to notice things within yourself, but also others. And that's important, because we kind of almost want to be able to read the room. Otherwise, you might be trailblazing ahead and have people around you that you realize are in danger of just sort of getting left behind. And, you know, sometimes we have to evolve and move on and graduate, but sometimes, you know, that's a sort of necessity as part of our soul contract, that we are that guide, that leader, and that we do kind of hold and nurture space and be the person that kind of helps them to develop and move forward. So I think you have a little bit of a line to sort of walk and really understand, like, you know, where there may be people. And this is the thing with this month, I think, you know, Libra, there's going to be a lot of coming and going in regards to people, you know, especially as we move into Aries season. So, you know, lots of new connections showing up as you reevaluate the type of support that you need or the type of people you want to have around you. And also a lot of people getting ready to move on because that particular connection has sort of served its purpose. Now, you know, you have a very transformative energy coming in with death, and that can feel like a slightly uncomfortable experience at times. Change is never easy, rarely shows up quietly when we're going through growth periods, does it? But what you do have in your favour this month is both Juno, the asteroid goddess who rules the 7th house that you're a natural ruler of too, and Venus are moving into the earthly grounded energy of Taurus. And here we're just a little bit more steady on our feet. So as we negotiate, as we come to terms about agreements, perhaps extricating ourselves from situations, relationships, or coming together, definitely around areas connected to love and money, Venus loves to be in Taurus, so all of that conversation feeling a little bit more harmonious. And a reminder here that the exit strategy is so imperative this month. You will want to make sure that if you're leaving or moving on from something, that you do it in a way that you feel really good about and that you can make peace with, even have a sacred ceremony around. That will make a huge difference to you not having to kind of get stuck or continuously fight with your past. You know, you're really paving the way for a different type of experience, and March is going to feel like one of those watershed moments for you where the energy feels so different. Time's taken on a completely different meaning for you, even through the course of 2023. And these bigger planetary shifts are also kind of disrupting your pattern a little bit. So it's going to take you a breath or two to find your sea legs, so to speak. You know, we've got equinox on the 20th. We also have Pluto shifting into Aquarius on the 23rd and Mars moving into Cancer on the 25th. But with this clean slate that we have, there's an invitation for you this month, Libra, to commit first and then watch the path unfold. You might be dreaming of magic, but you also have to stop and start practicing it. If you hold on too tightly for things, then you're not going to be open to some of the synchronicity and some of the extraordinary, exquisite ways that things can show up for you. Now, the Four of Pentacles also tells me take care of something. You may feel like, oh, I will get to that later. But again, that sixth house that's illuminated, if there is a practical element to something going on for you, if it's kind of coming in as a continuous whisper, I need to deal with that, I need to deal with that, please do so. It's coming in for you to sort it out this month for a reason, because I feel like as we make our way into April, May, June, there is going to be so much going on. You're going to struggle to have the time, the focus to be able to deal with this. And so as much as it might be something that you feel like you want to keep putting on the back burner, the advice here is please try to get it sorted. And I feel like it's not even just about freeing you up with space. I feel like there's something that you'll receive in the detail of it that is going to make you more informed, so that when you have a discussion or a negotiation, you'll be better equipped to kind of ask for something more. There's something about being able to ask for more, feel more empowered in a specific situation. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, you may feel that you've got some people around you or a specific person that feels like they're holding back or shutting down. That can be difficult, and it may be that this particular connection has to go through a really powerful sort of revolutionary moment through the month of March. And again, that's not always an easy thing to experience. And you know what, if they are meant to be on your path moving forward, then, even if there is a period of time where it continues to feel a bit stalemate or a little bit difficult to be able to connect or reach out, that will transform itself. If you are the one that is pulling back or withdrawing, again, I think there's a necessity there just to conserve and rejuvenate your energy in some capacity. Now, as we approach that Sun in Aries equinox on the 20th, we've then got the new moon coming in on the 21st of the month, and Tower energy coming in around that. It may be that there's a little bit of a situation. Now, I kind of feel like you're on the fringes of it a little bit, okay? That said, it is still going to directly affect you. So you have a really sort of strong vested interest, and it's also come up in your reading because, it will impact your pathway in some form or another. And I think that, you are being reminded to give more validation to what's happening within you than around you, because let's put it this way, sometimes we can observe absolute chaos and disarray and brokenness, and yet inside feel a deep sense of peace. So it's the peace you need to align with. So go within to really get a handle on what the true read is for you and what this means for you. And even if you do feel that your nervous system is spiked a little bit with some sort of situation, there may be a bit of a a bust up or a fallout in people around you or close to you. And that also might feel a bit challenging because there might be a part of you that wants to sort of wade in and try to fix or make it better. And I feel like your guides are almost holding you back and pulling you back, and it's a bit out of character for you. It's almost like even the people involved may expect you to sort of wade in and you end up not. But again, this is about a reminder of what it's going to take for you to maintain a sense of your own inner balance and equilibrium, plus let people learn a bit of a valuable lesson in relation to each other and to you and what your role is moving forward, because that energy needs to be directed elsewhere. Now, I feel like you also have a breakthrough moment in terms of how to do something much better. When that lands, when that sort of arrives for you, I think you'll be keen to kind of implement it straight away. I would say yes, absolutely, March is the time to do that. There's an incredible amount of this cardinal fire energy, and you will be invited to sort of activate that hero within you and really sort of take back control of something that has felt like it's gotten out of hand, especially in a work capacity. If you feel like people haven't shown up or you haven't been able to manage something in the right way. Again, Aries season is going to bring in the right people, the networking, the resourcefulness to be able to connect or find out, discover who's done this, who can help me, how do we get this and make it work. And, you know, as we approach the 27th, 28th, we've got Mercury and Jupiter coming together in a beautiful conversation, and again that's going to help you to communicate something really well. So if you've got anything to present or anything to share out into the world, these are going to be powerful. Now my sacred soul support this month, Libra, is covering off in the light, how to become more authentically you, a guided meditation. And in the shadow, we're going to be looking at dissolving disappointment. So these are tools to support you over and above the soul stories. This month I've also launched my first book, Musings, and you can pre-order. The shipping is starting from March 21st. So thank you if you've already supported me. All the links are in the comment and the description box underneath. Now, I'm just pulling our additional 3 cards that are going to be covered off in the extended. If you're new to the channel, we speak for another 25-30 minutes or so to give you more insights into the month ahead. I'm going to go ahead and clarify this main reading now and see where it wants to take us. So just beginning with that energy of the Chariot, we have the King of Wands coming through, beautiful, Hierophant. All the decks that I use, of course, are listed in the comment and description box. You've got the Emperor coming through here and the Two of Cups. The Star, beautiful. And the Chariot. Chariot's really been making the rounds through March soul stories. Not a surprise as we really power forward in this new astrological year approaching. All that fire energy of Aries really helping to instigate. You've got another Tower, okay. We'll cover that a little more in the extended and see what else we can unearth for you. Ace of Cups. 3 of Swords. I really like the emergence of the High Priestess for you this month. Like I said, you know, the more validation that you can give to yourself internally through the course of this month, I think you won't go wrong. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my personal deck. So again, if you'd like to check this out, the link is in the description box below. Okay, so we have Rise in Love, a Spirit Horse, Built from Love, beautiful. You have a lot of love energy showing up here. Nice to see these chakras being highlighted, the root and the heart. Okay, finally we're just going to pull an energy oracle for you, Libra. The Temple Path, beautiful. Okay, if you're joining me for the extended, I look forward to continuing this conversation. You take care. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you again next time.